So hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today my friends, I'm very happy to be here to present you another build guide on Path of Exile, and today I'm going to show you my budget lightning strike Ranger Raider build. I know Ranger Raider sounds weird, and it is, but it is what it is, my friends. I can't change that. Okay, I mean, why budget? Because to make this build you will need between 50 to 60x, and I can assure you, you can just buy every single item of this build without any problem. Some of you are gonna say, oh, budget 50 to 60x, that's not budget. In my opinion, it is. Nowadays, like most of the build guides, they include a mage blood, okay, like for real, to feel good, okay. And if you consider that this one with 50 and 60x, you are finished, and the mage blood, only this item is like worth 6 times this budget, I would say that it is a budget build for me. Okay, some of you will struggle a bit to get those 50x together, some others do it in 1-2 days, so I can assure you, you will get a build that feels really great for that low investment. Also, why am I doing this build already now? Because last week I made also like 2 versions of a build. I made a budget version, okay, of the Cyclone Cast on Crit Riders, no, not Riders, Forbidden Rite build, and I made one with Mage Blood and everything else. People were happy with it, okay, and I decided now to make a build guide about the build as budget form, and I don't know now what I'm gonna do. Should I invest? That's a question I made to you. If you're listening to me, let me know in the comment section if you want to see then the POE version of this build, for example the Amulet, the Omniscience, then the Mage Blood, and so on, the POE cluster jewels that are worth a lot of X, and so on. If you want to see something like that, or you say no DS, go for a new build, okay, for something else we want to see. So let me know that in the comment section. Then for the rest, in the video description I'm gonna put the POE link so that you can copy paste as you wish. And with all the build guides, I'm gonna start with the pros and the cons. I go over to the skill gems here in the Flasks, then the skill tree and the remaining story, and then I finish off with how I play it and a gameplay of a Tier 16 map that I'm gonna put a bit of delirious on it, okay, today, so that you can see it a bit juiced, okay. For the rest, let's go for the video. Let's start with the pros and the cons. So my friends, when we are talking about the pros and the cons, the biggest pro, it is in the title, it is that it is budget. I mean, it's 50 to 60x, you can just get this build, and it feels really good when you're mapping. If you are a mapper and you love to map, that's the build to go for, because it feels really amazing. And that comes to the next pro, it is very fast. You have a lot of movement speed, as you can see already by default. Look how fast we are. Then we are using whirling blades, where we can like use it all the time, and you will just go through it like really easy. If you want to, like I do always with every map, I rush to the map boss, I kill him, and then I do the rest of the map. Why I do that? Because of the altars, so that the altars that spawn after the map boss kill, they always modify the rest of the map and not the boss. But that's a detail, okay. But this build is amazing. Also the DPS is amazing. I mean, you kill tier 16 bosses relatively fast, okay. It is not like an ABBA boss killer, stuff like that, for sure not. But for mapping and farming, it is just amazing, and you will see it. You can go for it. Then as contra, I mean, you need to like the gameplay. As I say, why am I saying that? Because I love to face tank, okay? Because I am a Cyclone player. I love Cyclone builds, and everybody knows that who know me. I love to go into the enemies and kill them, okay? Here you need to be a bit of a distance if you don't want to risk to die. You still will not die. We are still very tanky, no problem. But yeah, if you don't want to risk it, yeah, then you have to play a bit from the distance, okay? Yeah, another contra, yeah, DPS wise, the single target DPS is not great, okay? I mean, great, it is great, but it's not like the other builds, okay? That means, yeah, you will need a little of an aura bot or somebody else to help you to kill the big bosses, okay? I'm talking here not the map bosses, but you know what bosses I'm talking about. Then also, yeah, there are a few mods that you can do. The elemental reflection you can do. Then also you can do the suppress. I think is 60% aura effect. That is of non-aura skill effect, something like that. You know which mod it is, but almost no build can do it, okay? That's a bit rippy for you. And then, yeah, I mean, there is a lot of space for improvement on this build. So yeah, but that was with the pros and the cons. So my friends, the skill gems, we are starting with our Claw, where we are using an Anger 2020, a Defiance 2020, and a Withering Step 2020. For sure, all of the 2020 that you can see, it's always better you go for a 21, 23, I mean, or whatever. I mean, but I didn't want to make this build too costly. That's why I wanted to keep it budget. But if you can go for better gem, why not? Okay, especially the 2020. Yeah? Okay, then on our helmet we are using Life Tap, a Summon Stone Golem level 16, a Molten Shell level 18, and a Cast by Damage Taken level 15. Pay attention to the levels 16, 18, and 15. That, in my opinion, it is the best, okay, to use it like that. Then on our shield we have Grace, we have Herald of Ice, and we have Precision on level 1. You don't need more, okay? 1 is totally fine for us. And then on our body armor we have our 6 link, where we are using the Wall Lightning Strike, very important, 2020. If you can afford a 21 you can go, but it is worth 15x at the moment. Okay, it is much better, but we are using only that. The Wall Lightning, very important, my friends. Okay, then we have Inspiration, we have Trinity, we have Multi-Strike. I don't need to tell you the Awakened would be better, but then again, it's 40x, okay? Elemental damage with attack support and Nightblade, okay? The Awakened version of elemental damage, it is at the moment 3x if you want to go for it, okay? On our pair of gloves, we have multiple totems, we have Ancestral War Chief, we have Ancestral Protector, and Cooling Strike. Those are 4 linked. And then we have on our pair of boots, we have Margon Hit, Assassin's Mark, Life Tap, and the Whirling Blade. So that's actually what we are using as the skill gems. So my friends, now the gear and the flask. We are starting with our Claw. What is the most important on the Claw? It is that it has the implicit 46 life gain for each enemy hit by attacks. That's very good for like leeching. Then that the elemental DPS is high. We are currently at 836, so over 800 you are more than fine. Then the enchantment quality does not increase physical damage, 1% increased attack speed per 8% quality. That's a little bonus. If you can go for this and enchant, go for it. Okay, then we have the mod chance to trigger level 1 blood rage when you kill an enemy. That for me it is very nice, because like that we can then save one skill gem or a gem spot. Okay, and that's why I could like add the Defiance banner, for example, to our build. Okay, most build guides of Lightning Strike don't use Defiance banner, for example. And then we have the increased critical strike chance and attack speed. But as I said, that's what we are looking for on the claw. Then as a helmet, we are going for the Blizzard Crown. Okay, that's the most important. It has to be a Blizzard Crown. Why? Because of the implicit. It is very huge for our damage, like the cold damage added, and your hit street cold resistant as 10% higher than actual value. That's the implicit. Then the enchantment, very important. Lightning Strike pierces 3 additional targets. Okay, if you don't have that, we will have to get those additional pierces on the skill tree. For example, there is one where you can get that, but we want that on the helmet, so we don't need it there. Then chance to suppress spell damage. Why we want to have 100? I think that by default we are at 73 or so with all of the skill with the skill tree, and so that means with the my shield and the helmet, the suppressed spell damage that I get there, I get to 100. I am far over 100 right now, but I think it is something around 70 or so, or 67, something like that, that you have by default, and then we want to have 100%. So very important. We have life, we have resistance, and what is very nice here, +1 to level of socketed projectile gems. Okay, and but why are we going for that? It is projectiles pierce an additional target. I'm just seeing that I have no projectile gem socketed here. I don't think I could make it differently. No, there is none, because it's here. So why are we going for this craft? It is the projectiles pierce an additional target. That means 4, just because of the helmet. Sorry. Then on the shield, we have a shield we want like with armor or evasion rating. It doesn't matter because we are converting it. Okay, that's also something very special about this build guide, not like the others, where we have suppressed spell damage to hit 100%. We have a lot of life, and what is most important here, it is chance to avoid elemental ailments. Very important to get to 100%. With 30% you are at 100, because it is by default 70. We have increased elemental damage with attack skills, sorry, and added elemental damage, okay, as craft. Then on our body armor we have a Farrell's Fur Triumphant lamellar. Okay, then as amulet we have attributes. Okay, strength and intelligence. We need strength, a lot of strength. Okay, then we have critical strike multiplier. We have life, resistance, increased elemental damage with attack skills, and that's it. Then as a ring, we want a shaper ring, very important because of our Mark of the Elder Steel ring. Okay, it has to be a shaper ring with lots of strength, so I can get the strength that I need. We have some elemental damage to attacks, and we have resistance and life. That's it. Okay, those rings shouldn't be too costly. Then on the other side we want Mark of the Elder, where we want, where is it? Sorry, increased damage if your other ring is a shaper item as high as possible. I kept it like this because the maximum life is also 10 and so on, and also the elemental damage to attacks is also poggy. That means, but if you can, you go for that like 80%, and then we put some quality. We hire the quality from attack modifiers on it, okay, with some catalysts. Then as a pair of gloves, we are using a spike gloves because of the armor, what is nice, and the increased melee damage. It helps us with a bit of DPS from close combat, but you don't need to take those gloves. But most of the gloves that have those modifiers are spike gloves, where we get like the aspect of the cat skill. We can have it here or on the belt, okay? Even on the, you can have it anywhere, but I think, in my opinion, the easiest way to get this is on your pair of gloves or on your belt. Then we have some dexterity, we don't care. What is the most important is +1 to maximum frenzy charges, and strike skills target one additional nearby enemy. That's the most important, those two modifiers right there. And then we have increased global critical strike chance and increased elemental damage if you have dealt a critical strike recently as a craft. Then we have some elemental damage to attacks, what is also a nice bonus to have. Then our belt. Lots of life, lots of intelligence, lots of resistance, and increased elemental damage with attack skills. That's what we need, okay? And as pair of boots, we want, you have tailwind if you have dealt a critical strike recently, very important, and the chance to gain onslaught for 4 seconds on kill. We want movement speed, we want a lot of strength, life, and resistance as always. Okay, then we have the enchantment, increased movement speed if you haven't been hit recently, what is really nice. Then as flasks, we are using a divine flask. What is very important is the instant recovery, very important, the instant recovery, because you're gonna use it whenever you see, oh, my life is almost down. We need that, okay? It is, you will see, it is like your life savior right there. And then grants immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood, okay? Very important on your life flask. And don't spam it, like don't piano play the flasks. Always keep in mind to keep a life flask up, I mean some charges, okay, whenever you need. Then we have a jade flask where we have increased duration, okay, and increased evasion rating during flask effect. We have a quicksilver where we do increase attack speed during flask effect and chance to gain a flask charge when you deal a critical strike. Since we are always doing it, it is almost every time up. We have increased duration on our granite flask, increased duration and increased armor during flask effect, just like the jade flask, okay? And then lastly, we have a diamond flask where we have chance to gain a flask charge when you deal a critical strike and increased critical strike chance during flask effect, okay? So those are the flasks. And the gear, that was the section, and now we are gonna go for the skill tree and the remainings. So my friends, now on the skill tree and the remainings, we are gonna start with the skill tree. We are gonna go for the ascendancy of Raider, where we take Way of the Poacher, a Vater of the Slaughter, Quartz Infusion, and a Vater of the Veal. What is what we are going as ascendancy. What is important to know on the skill tree, that you copy just like you see it right here, okay? We are having like a jewel right here with increased maximum life, with critical strike multiplier with elemental skills, and critical strike multiplier with one-handed melee weapons. The best is to go to for critical strike multiplier with one-handed melee weapons, and then you can go critical strike multiplier with elemental skills. You can go critical strike multiplier with lightning skills, and also critical strike multiplier like global. That doesn't matter, but always go for critical strike multiplier with one-handed melee weapons at least, okay? Because it's the highest. It's like between, as I remember, 15 to 18, and the others are always like lower. Okay, so take this one and chance to avoid being stunned if you can take it. Okay, then there is not much to say, you just copy it like it is on the POB. Here we are using an intuitive leap Viridian jewel, also not costly as at all, really not. Then as a large cluster jewel, we are using 8 passive skill with increased attack damage while holding a shield. where we are using like the passive skill is Calamitous, Martial Prowess, Strike Leader, and so on. So the three of them, very important. It sounds very costly, but it isn't, don't worry. Then we are using again a jewel, the same, with critical strike multiplier, with lightning skills, critical strike chance with elemental skills, and critical strike multiplier with elemental skills. As I told you, you always go for the one-handed melee weapons, but here I have triple with a bit of chance. You don't need it, but in my opinion it was a nice bonus to this build, so I went for one like this. It wasn't that costly, okay? I paid like 3x. There was one guy selling it for 3x, so I took it. And then as our Watcher's Eye, Prismatic Jewel, we are going, and that's the most important here, critical strike multiplier while affected by anger. That's the most important. And then chance to evade attack hits while affected by grace. Okay, but you have some with precision, but those are very costly because you have critical strike multiplier while affected by precision. But if you go for that and the anger one, you will have to invest, like, I think, if I remember, it's 30x. If I make a very or a high budget build, a build version of this build, then I will go for it, okay? But I didn't want to. As I told you, I wanted to keep it like as cheap as possible. And then we are going for the Lethal Pride Timeless Jewel. So now, what is very important here, my friends? What is very important here, it is, what are you looking for? I can't tell you, this number is good, 15,306, but it's gonna be hard to find one that is selling with 15,306. So you will have to try out. The most important to get it is the chance to deal double damage, as you can see here. Okay, that's the most important, and I have it twice. As you can see, that's what you're looking for. If you have twice chance to deal double damage, you are having a good Lethal Pride that you will use for your build. But this one is also even better because I have increased strength, what is nice, and here melee critical strike multiplier. Okay, and yeah, a bit of a defensive modifier here, reduced extra damage from critical strikes like twice. And if I am not mistaken, here we have gained 5% of physical damage as extra fire damage, what is really nice. So as I told you, the Lethal Pride, we are the most interested in the chance to deal double damage, like 2. If you have 2, perfect. Okay, my friends, so now we are gonna go for the section of sorry the remaining, I never cut my videos because in my opinion it's much more original if I do it in one section or in one video, not like others. They are cutting every 5 seconds because they didn't know what to say. I don't care about it, so sometimes I forget. I hope you're not mad at me. So on the Pantheon, we are using the Soul of Lunaris. Okay, very nice, very defensive. And then the Soul of Rislatha. Okay, that's the one that we are using to keep our life flasks up all the time. Okay, our charges. So now, my friends, we are gonna go for the section on how I play it. So my friends, it is very easy, a very easy build actually. Before I start to play, actually we activate our auras. So we start with Anger, we go to Grace, Herald of Eyes, Defiance Banner, Precision, and Aspect of the Cat. And then we are done with our auras. As you can see, we have 43 mana unreserved. Believe me, it is more than enough. Then on our left click, we are using Withering Step. Very important, don't click on always attack without moving, okay? So we are just using it on our middle button, nothing. Whirling blades on right click. Our wall lightning strike on Q, that's how I play it. On W I have nothing. E, there is the lightning strike, that's our main skill. Then Ancestral Protector and Ancestral War Chief on R and T, as you can see. So how I play it, actually I just run around. For 90% or 95% of your maps, you are just running around and you click on E. And that's it, onto the direction that you want, okay? That's how I play it, okay? Like 95%, and then Whirling Blades if I want to go a bit faster, okay? Then at bosses, you put down R and T, your totems, and then you start to kill. If you have your wall lightning strike like ready, you put Q, and then it puts like down an orb that is gonna start or is gonna send out like lightning strikes out of the orb, okay, into the direction of anything that is around, okay? So that's how I play it. It's very easy, as you can see, and yeah, now I'm gonna show you gameplay of this build. Let's go. So my friends, now we are gonna then do the tier 16 gameplay. For that I'm using a cemetery map that I have chiseled, I have rared. As you can see, we have 101% item quantity, what is not bad, and we have delirious it with 20%. It's already enough just to showcase this build, and I'm gonna also go for the red altars, okay, so that you can see how much rippy it can become, okay? So as you can see, we go on, we get into our map, and we just run around and use E. So as you can see, the clearance is amazing. Now let's empower them with the red sentinel, what makes them much more tanky. You will always try to avoid a bit the monsters, you know, but you will find it out for you, the good pace. As you can see, it is fast, it clears very good. There we go. We have the boss. That's a good thing. Look how fast we killed the boss from from Delirium. I've just put the totem down and my wall lightning strike, and that was sufficient. So here it becomes a bit rippy when we start to take those, but we don't care, we go for full rip so that you can see how this build behaves. So now, as you can see, the single target is not bad at all. Wait, let me just take those. Now here, I'm gonna empower the monsters here. And still everything alright, as you can see. I mean, for 50 to 60x, it feels just amazing. Very easy build to play. Let me empower those. I mean, the secret with this build is just to be like always moving and attacking, you know. But you are also very fast, so it feels good. We have still 50 monsters somewhere. Let me see if I... yeah, here. Okay, we are at 32. We are finish with this map. So I think that was already enough. I don't need now to show you the sacred growth or the harvest. I mean, for the sake of this build. I hope that you liked this build or this build guide. As you can see, for 50 to 60 EX we have here a map clearer that kills like everything in maps, also the bosses, no problem at all. It is not a boss killer like the new version, those upper bosses, but still it is more than decent. So my friends, if you like this build guide, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, don't forget to like for even more, to let me know if you want to see like a mirror version of this build, or you're gonna say, or you want to see a new build. Okay, let me know that. And for the rest, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, nice night, and we will see us on the next video on YouTube or on the next stream on Twitch. Bye bye my friends, love ya.